The Beatles' next single? What would their single be after something? John Lennon thought a good idea might be Cold Turkey, today on another vinyl show. Ike Frazier Industries presents another vinyl show with Ike Frazier. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Ike Frazier back with another episode of another vinyl show. And today it's about what could have been and what eventually happened. Cold Turkey could have been the Beatles' next single, but the rest of the Beatles said, oh, that's pretty dark subject matter for the Beatles. We should pass on that. So John quickly recorded it 10 days after he told the Beatles he was quitting. And there is the original American picture sleeve, Apple 1813, with John's skull on there, and then Yoko on the B-side with Don't Worry Kyoko. John called this single the greatest rock and roll record that's ever been made. A lot of people might not doubt with that, but you can definitely say that there are two hard rockin' riffs on these records right here. So when you went to the store in 1969, if you were lucky, you got the picture sleeve, and this is the thumb tab picture sleeve, West Coast, and this is the corresponding 45 right there. So you either got it like this, or you got it like this if you were really lucky. But if you got it on the East Coast, and yours was made at Scranton, Pennsylvania, there's a mastering error to where the last chorus goes, cold tea has got me, and it just keeps going. So there's a mastering problem on that pressing, and a lot of people will say, oh, you got the one that skips too. Now, the first time Cold Turkey was on an album was Live Piece in Toronto. There's a beautiful copy of that, of course, on Apple Records, and that came with the 1970 calendar that we will be going into in the video. But if you didn't get the calendar, because they ran out or they didn't have some yet, you could send to Scranton, and they would send you a calendar with this little card right here. This card entitles you to one free John and Yoko 1970 calendar. Please print your name, address, and zip below, and affix a 5-cent stamp and return this pre-addressed card, and that would get your calendar. Now, they recorded live Cold Turkey and Don't Worry Kyoko at the Christmas show of 1969, and both those recordings ended up on Sometime in New York City, which now has been rebranded as New York City and part of the one-to-one box set of the big CD DVD box. I still love Sometime in New York City. I think it's a great album. There's the Statue of Liberty postcard right there covering the offending song title right there. But Cold Turkey could have been a Beatles song. It ended up being the second Plastic Ono Band single, and that's what our video is about today. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my little ramble there about everything, but it's going to be a fun video for you, and check it out. And if you like it, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, tell us what you think about Cold Turkey or any other record you'd like to hear about. And if you want to really know what's going on here all the time at another vinyl show, hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified all the time on all the crazy things that we're up to here and the wild records we're listening to. But it's your old pal Ike Frazier. I thank you guys for coming along for the ride. And until next time, we'll see you soon. John Lennon got the Beatles together and said, I've got a new idea for a single. I've just written a song, Cold Turkey. And he plays Cold Turkey for the other Beatles, and they sit and they listen to it, and they decide that it is not quite the material for the Beatles as being the next single after Abbey Road. So John's sitting around Apple, and on September 12th, 1969...
This is John Lennon.
And it's the promoters of the Toronto Rock and Roll Revival of 1969. And they tell John they've got Little Richard, they've got Chuck Berry, they've got Fats Domino, Bo Diddley, Jerry Lee Lewis. They've even got the Doors, but they have 20,000 tickets and they're nowhere near selling out. Would he like to MC? And he said, no, I don't want to MC. I got a condition. I'll come and do it, but I have to play with my band. But he doesn't have a band. He calls George Harrison. George turns him down. He's in such a hurry, he doesn't even tell Alan Klein what he's up to. He gets Eric Clapton's management, and Old Faithful Klaus Voormann comes along. They get first-class tickets courtesy of the promoters, and they practice on the airplane on the way to Toronto. Here we see them practicing. Now, when they get there, the Toronto festival is sold out because now everybody knows John Lennon's going to be there. And Chuck Berry plays a great set and wows the crowd. Bo Diddley just knocks them dead as always. The Killer lives up to his namesake. He rocks and rolls. We see Gene Vincent's there. He's backed up by Alice Cooper's band. Alice Cooper makes a big debut there. And Little Richard set to close the show, as well as The Doors. And there's a little kerfuffle about who'll close. But of course, there we see Jim Morrison and Lord Sutch, who was there at the festival as an artist performing. Incredible. The Plastic Ono Band get there just in time. They go backstage. John says hey to all of his rock and roll heroes, gets his guitar in tune. He's feeling a little bit nauseous because he is nervous. This is the first big concert for him since 1966. And they go on stage, and of course it goes over like gangbusters. Everybody is glad to see John back on stage. He plays some rock and roll oldies. He plays Your Blues from the White Album. And he plays this new song, Cold Turkey. And Yoko sings some songs. And after they get a little rest, they get back on the plane. And back at Apple on September 20th, 1969, Alan Klein has got the Beatles together to sign some contracts because he has renegotiated the contracts with Capitol Records to get the Beatles the biggest deal that anyone has ever got. But on the same day, John tells them he's leaving the Beatles. And just 10 days later, he heads to Abbey Road, and with him, of course, is Yoko Ono, and he's got Klaus Voormann with him again, and Eric Clapton. But this time, he's got Ringo Starr on the drums with him. So that completes the Plastic Ono Band, and when they finish at Abbey Road, they head over to Trident Studios, where they do the mixing. Now, at Trident, they mix it down to the take that will be the take for overdubs, and they take that back to Abbey Road, and John does multiple overdubs. And while all of this is going on, Abbey Road is the #1 record in the world, and suddenly there's a John Lennon solo song out, and that solo song is Cold Turkey. Backed with Don't Worry Kyoko, it's released October 20th, 1969. It only goes to number 30 in the United States, but we see its beautiful picture sleeve right here. And here's the promo poster for the UK version, Apple's 1001, which went to number 14 in the UK with the very large Play Loud print on the vinyl itself. You'll see Yoko back on the B-side, Don't Worry Kyoko. Her song also should be played very loud. John was upset when the song started slipping down the charts, and in another one of his protests, he sent back his MBE with a letter saying that he didn't appreciate everybody fighting and Cold Turkey slipping down the charts. Now, Cold Turkey was released all over the world, and it was released in the Netherlands. Here we see the side-by-side picture sleeve, a side-by-side in green from Denmark, which is a really cool sleeve. Now, here is the sleeve from Sweden that they didn't print the skulls on there, nor did they print the skulls in Norway. So those are some pretty plain picture sleeves right there. This is the Yugoslavian side-by-side picture sleeve. And here we see the one from Italy with a side-by-side picture sleeve. Now this white back is pretty cool on that one right there. Now in Japan, they put the skulls side-by-side, but they put a little tiny picture of John and Yoko in the middle. Portugal, no skulls on the cover there, and of course it's on the Beatles' original label instead of Apple. In Spain, we get the picture sleeve, but it's on Odin, it's not on Apple for the original issue. And the first time Cold Turkey will ever show up on an LP is Live Peace in Toronto, 1969, released December 12th, 1969. It went to number 10 in the United States, and here we see the clear hype sticker that tells you all about the great calendar inside. Now in America, we got this great calendar. It was either wire bound or plastic bound, and it had some of John's poems from In His Own Right and Spaniard in the Works, and some of Yoko's things from Grapefruit. There's the picture that would end up as the back cover of Life with the Lions. And John was so happy this record went gold in America. Capitol didn't even want to release it. And he said, you know what? People will want to hear this live concert. Now in Britain, it was a different story. And this was released with the very rare suffix of Core 2001. No other record has the C-O-R-E prefix. This album did not chart in the United Kingdom. People weren't as fascinated by it. But just later, the Peace and Love for Christmas concert was held, and John said he'd show up at that, and everybody showed up December 15th, 1969 to back him up. George Harrison, Delaney and Bonnie and friends. Clapton is there. Keith Moon is there. And it's just a really heavy, heavy show. And here is some footage from the Christmas show. Now, they were billed as the Plastic Ono supergroup, and those live recordings appeared on the original Sometime in New York City on the second disc. But the Cold Turkey studio version would not show up on an album till October 20th, 1975 on Shaved Fish. And that went to number 12 in the US and number 8 in the UK. Here's the original red hype sticker that lists all the tracks. Now in Japan, they put it out on green vinyl in 1982, and that's a pretty sweet sought-after copy. In 1984, it was released as an oldies single in the UK, and Cold Turkey was on the B side, and the A side was Give Peace a Chance. Now, what could some of the values of these cold turkeys be? Well, we'll just start off here in America with 1813 from Apple with its beautiful picture sleeve, and those go for, on eBay, $125 to $150 if they're really clean. This is the Bell Sound test pressing, and that went for an incredible $450. Now here's the in-house Capitol white label from the US, which actually listed as John Lennon and not the Plastic Ono Band. That sold for $400 on eBay. Live Piece in Toronto, SW3362. Those sealed with the beautiful clear sticker that's on the shrink wrap. Those normally go for anywhere from $50 to $150 depending on the day. You know, they sell at different prices. The white and black Cold Turkey sleeve most likely is a bootleg from the 80s. So I would stay away from that one unless you just want it for fun. In the UK now, the Cold Turkey was released as Apple's 1001, and it has the giant Play Loud on the label. And these go for, the top sale on eBay was $172. Now here is a UK white label EMI test right there. Those are really probably impossible to get. I could not find a price for that. The reissue with the cool picture sleeve with Give Peace a Chance on the A side, $22. Oh, Norway on eBay, $285 for a no skull. In Israel, they use a much older picture. That goes for $250. Denmark is the winner, though, on eBay, $651. Now, Core 2001, the UK copy of Live Piece in Toronto. Now, some of those do have American calendars with them, and one with an American calendar sold for $140 on eBay. And the Cold Turkey demo is on John Lennon acoustic. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.